Balboni Darts is the name in darts for Central Massachusetts and beyond. From dart sets and boards to accessories and apparel, they're the one-stop shop for any player looking to stock up or upgrade. Whether you're stepping up to the line for the first time or competing for trophies and checks, Balboni Darts is the store that the champion selects.
Back over to the game board here for the big 140 opening from Joe Ricard. We'll jump back to that QR code shortly, but all of the proceeds from those merchandise sales go back into the league for this season, so you will contribute to the prize pool, and it helps us keep the lights on here to keep bringing you more darting action. Absolutely love the support that U.S. Sports and Apparel has been showing us. Very enthusiastic about the greater darting community here in the Worcester area. We can't wait to show them the type of love that darts community can bring them. So, again, go check them out. Unfortunate there, 45. The big deflection from Berto. Berto did very well in the opening game against Nick. Hung around, hung in there. Nick put a lot of pressure on Berto, but just not able to get over scoring and finishing that Berto brought to the table. Berto actually not in, well, he is in the bottom half of the standings, but wasn't the very bottom. He has secured himself points. Had a slight lead over Rudge, Nick, and Mike because he had one more sets. But now, with Berto getting points and Mike getting points, the standings are going to start shuffling around a little bit. Only Nick is walking away after 2 weeks with no points, which is unlucky for Nick, but there's still plenty of time. Joe firing at an 85. If you are tuning in just now, that's the last game between Justin Burke and Joe Ricard. Joe was 6 darts into a 9-darter. Lost it on the 7th dart. But man, oh man, was it awesome to see. I damn near jumped out of my seat when he nailed that 6th dart. Apologize for swearing for all the families tuning in, watching the WPL, either live or playing it later on their televisions. But we have yet to see a 9-darter here at the WPL, and it would be tremendous. Ron, Joe, Tom have all been close. Joe wants to put that dart a little closer to the triple 20 segment for 96. Won't find it. Can only level out his score. 56 found to leave himself 40. Solid average so far here in the opening leg. After the break. And Berto just struggling to really find his scoring, find the consistency again. Berto, when he's on, but struggling to find that consistency tonight. It was enough to overcome Nick, but Joe is a different type of operator and finds that first dart. Finds double top. Takes the opening leg, and we have a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. Joe telling Berto, cannot afford to give me that much space because I will make it count. Only 41 found there from Berto, so an unfortunate, unlucky start. Joe looking to just continue more of the consistency that he's had the greater part of the night. Again, the throw has been so consistent, has been there, been reliable. He's been able to lean on it. We saw in the last game against Justin that even if you can't find the red bit consistently, just being able to find 60s time and time again. Solid 95 there from Berto. Finding those 60s is enough to just put enough pressure on. Again, it really forces your opponent just to not make mistakes. And sometimes, hey, that's all it comes down to. Just don't make mistakes. Joe doing very well to find 84. Just barely scratching. Trip 19 at the bottom of the board there. And Berto leading the pack here. One's going to make things a little tricky. Wants to drop it low. A little too low there, unfortunately. 41 found. Joe Ricard, big opportunity here to jump in front. Get ahead in the scoring department with a big visit. Just low. Might be a blocker there with that first dart. We'll have to see how he navigates around that. Does very well to find that third dart into that triple 20 segment. 100 punched in there. Berto not too far back, but can't afford to slow down. Another stretch of the arm there. Maybe a little bit of, I don't know if it's rust. I don't know if it's muscles not feeling right, but stretching his arm a little bit. Unfortunate. Joe lining up back up. The throw has been consistent. It's been reliable. It's been the same. Darts maybe not getting the memo every time that they're released, but grouping has been there. 55 found, getting closer to outshot territory. Berto electing to try his luck downstairs, finding 57. Joe Ricard, 217. So big opportunity to set himself up here for quite a workable leave. 80 scored. Elects to stay up top for the big 100, so 117 left after 5 visits to the board. Great darts there. Good average so far from Joe Ricard. And Berto again finding himself behind by quite some margin here. 45 punched in, so 200 left for Berto. Joe, 117. Again, a lot of these guys, even when they have no pressure to take out 10-plus takes, they still want it anyway. Joe was trying for the 57 there at the bottom of the board. Finds the big 18 to correct. And Berto, 200 back, can only hope to hit 140 and 180. Leave himself handy in case Joe misses, but this will not go, will not happen. Berto only finding 55, so Joe, another opportunity at double top here. Lining it up, and he finds it, sinks it, takes it, 2 legs. On the spin there for Joe, and Berto already struggling a little bit off the rip here. Joe defending his set here, so he has to throw for this set. If it did go all the way to a tiebreaker, he would be the one to lead off. Joe doing very well to hold, throw, and break. Solid opening round there with 100 scored there from Joe. Berto again struggling to find the 20 segment. Does very well to correct, but just high. And again, the other micro correction down into the left. So 36 found. Unlucky. Joe continuing his slow march down with that 5. Wants to speed up. Only finding 6. Unfortunate 26. Breakfast found here. For everybody tuning in from outside of the New England area, would like to know if it's called breakfast when you're corner of the woods. It's kind of a regional thing that I think here. Only people in New England call it breakfast if you hit a 26. What do people in the UK call it? What do people in the rest of Europe call it? Type it in the chat. Let us know. We'd love to hear what it's called in your corner of the world. Nice 100 there. Ton's always a ton, though. Dropping his score down to 275. Joe playing a much higher standard of game compared to the previous game against Justin. Both guys struggling a little bit with their scoring. Then out of nowhere in the second half of that match, really blowing up the board. Just struggled to really find their rhythm for that first half. Joe trying to make those small corrections down. Does very well to put all 3 in that 20 segment, so 60 punched in. Berto already falling back behind again, And again, has not been missing by a wide margin. The darts have just been on the other side of the wire, left and right. Again, it just compounds. The problems compound. Against players like here at the WPL, they do make you pay. They punish you for those errant darts. Joe working his way down, does very well to find that single bull segment. 65 to leave himself 150. So again, at and out after 5 rounds. Joe, I know personally, would like to have that down to a lower out if possible, but then again, the man just had a look at a 9-dart attempt, and it just went the wayside on the 7th dart. Joe, 80 scored here. Tries to find that 10-10 to leave tops, but can only find the single. 90 scored is a great visit, though, leaving himself 60. Berto all the way back at 184. Does very well to find the 100, so pressure on Joe. Again, tap on the shoulder saying, hey, you're ahead, but you're not out of the woods. You still got to find it. But double 20 has been so reliable for Joe tonight. Are we going to see him take the set? One more dart at it. And just low, so opportunities now for Berto to come in and steal a leg. Can't afford to miss. 64 left, 14 bull. You feel it's got to be the way to go. Double, Berto! No, Berto, that would have been so cool, so good, but so close, and the opportunity's gone. Gotta respect it from Berto, the efforts there, but Joe looking to clean up now, and he does with the first dart. So the opening set done and dusted. Into the ledger books for Joe Ricard.
Looking for your next night out in Worcester? Tee Up Tap Room is the place to be. With 5 golf simulator bays, more than 20 dartboards, a full bar and kitchen, and leagues for both golf and darts running year-round, Tee Up is the go-to spot for competition and community. Swing by Tee Up Tap Room at 70 James Street in Worcester and see why it's the city's home for golf, darts, and good times.
Again, rule of cool should force that to go in every single time, but darts is not a cool game. It's a cruel game at certain points, and if you don't go for that 14 bull, the opportunity is more than likely to go. Joe just looking to refocus, get that previous set victory out of his mind, and just repeat. You can see the level of disappointment in Joe's face when those darts move slightly to the left or slightly to the right. The level of focus that these guys have when they're throwing is so immense. Even slightly off, it just bothers the heck out of them. You love to see the lack of emotion, just a pure focus, nothing phasing this man right here. Lining it up, wants to find that third dart a little bit lower, can only find it into the 60. And Berto just looking to try and keep pace here. Drops a dart. A little bit of a step back, a little bit of a refocus. Berto might be just slightly high there. Only finding 43. Joe Ricard, again, keeping a little bit closer to Berto than he probably would like. That first dart's going to put him in front. 2 in there. Maybe a possibility. Can't quite find it. The first dart, too much of a blocker. The flight was right smack in the middle. Again, those flights act like defenders almost when they don't line up just right to leave enough space for more darts to join in on the fun. Berto, no fun in that round, only finding 15. Let's see what Joe can do here, working with 296. Does very well to find that second dart. And finds the third one in there, squeezes it into the bottom right-hand corner. 125 found from Joe Ricard. Great work, great stuff. And Berto looking to answer back. Second dart goes a little high and can't find the third. Consistency again, eluding Berto. Joe looking to try and adjust up if possible. That dart was just underneath the wire. Goes left instead. Can see it on his face. He knew it. It felt good, but it just didn't fly good. Does very well to find that correction down to the trip 19. 84 punched in. Berto again all the way back at 276. Sound like a broken record, but Berto has not done himself any favors. Considerably too far back. Well, Joe's working under 100. We'll look to have to try and clean that up going forward here. But Joe, 87. Looks like they're debating the scoring, debating the math. Joe, looks like they corrected Joe's score in the previous round, so that's good sportsmanship from Joe. Double 16 now he needs. Just wide, needs to correct. And he pulls it just inside. Can't quite find the correction there. So close from Joe. Leaving himself 16 after 6 visits to the board is pretty good. Berto not able to find anything worthwhile. Not down to an out. So Joe Ricard, free roam, free reign on this double 8 that he needs to get out of this leg. Pulls it inside. Going across the pond to double 4. Goes well inside, down to double two. And well below again, so double trouble here for Joe Ricard. Berto sitting back at 191. Still has a way to go, but can maybe start to ask a couple questions of Joe if Joe starts to make a mess of it. The bottom half of the board here. Three darts at double two. Things get awkward down here. He certainly doesn't want to miss inside and have to go up to the madhouse. Looks like it's outside, so a little bit of an adjustment there. And you have to think that he shouldn't have moved there. Double two was just within reach, but Berto 1-3-2 now, finds the first bull, needs another one. Double bull, double 16 would be quite the take. Needs another double bull. Come on, Berto. Oh, looks like he tried to go for trip 14, but that was not quite the right math, I believe. Unfortunate. Great effort there from Berto to find that 82. Leaves himself 50. Joe, again, one more attempt at this double two. Doesn't want to wait about for too long here. Now it's awkward. Up to the madhouse. And he pulls it high, so Berto has a huge opportunity to take the leg here, go up. Maybe start rallying back, building some momentum. Finds 4. So 46 remaining. 6-10, 14 needed to correct. Shake of the head there from Berto. And that is a massive error. 15 found. Really throws a wrench into Berto's plans. 19 scored. 31 remaining. Finds another 15. 34 punched in. 26 left, I believe. 16, excuse me. 16 left. Caster math after 9:30 at night starts to go down the tubes. Luckily, don't have to do much math for double one, and unfortunately pulls it inside, so double trouble persists here for Joe Ricard. Berto, more opportunities to take this opening leg of set 2. Just has to find his way home, and he does. Nails it with that first dart. So it took a little while to get there, but that one goes into the record books as Berto's leg. Off to a good start here in this second set. Joe looks to recover. Scoreboard update for everybody. Ron Sargent is currently leading Mike Kerrigan 1-0. Ron continuing his performance. 73 average, just close to 74. Mike hovering around 65. So we'll see if Ron's performance can persist or if Mike has something to say about Ron's drive to the promised land, hoping to take a night for himself. Before we get there, though, I'm sure this man would have something to say about that. Joe finding 100, it looks like. Only finding 85, excuse me, in second dart, just creeping into the 5 segment. Berto just looking to try and keep his darts consistent, only finding 45. So starting to lose ground here, but in the past leg it didn't matter. Was able to catch back up and take the leg. Joe, the consistent scoring has just been there. Once more, finds the second dart in there with almost no space. Big 140. Almost looked like the first and third dart were sharing the same spot in the board. Berto not able to find 3 consistently in the segment, only punching in 45. Joe trying to make that micro adjustment down. Can't adjust back up. 60 found. So his march down to outs has brought him to 156. Berto working with 351. And able to find that third dart, nailing the 81. Great third there from Berto, working with 270. So within range, if you can find a big score to knock it down, but again, Joe struggling here, only finding 2 single 5s. So 10 scored, 146 remaining. Goes down to the 19s, nails that big 19, can't find the triple. Justin saying in the chat that Joe shot awesome. Justin, so did you. I believe we've had a lot of really good games so far in the WPL. Can't believe that it's only week 2 and we're not even done with it. So much more darts to throw, so much more games to cast, so much more drama to unfold right before our eyes, ladies and gentlemen. We're so happy that you're here joining us. Took 5 months of work to bring Season 3 to life, get sponsors on board, make the necessary upgrades to our production. All for you guys because we love the community, we love darts. We want to bring you guys the best of the best that this area has to offer. Berto starting to find his rhythm, make a presence for himself here in this game. 100, dropping his score down to 142, so he is now in range. Joe Ricard, 98 remaining after that dart into the 5 segment. Can't find the triple. Joe not able to do anything really worthwhile there. Drops the score down to 60, but Berto, 142 outside chance. Finds the first part. Can't find the double bull. And unfortunately finds another 20, so he will have to make a correction next time to the board. 105 scored there. Looks like a little bit of a scoreboard dispute there. And Joe lining up for 60. He has been ruthless on double 20 tonight. Will this trend continue? One dart, dead center. Second dart, equally good. And Joe Ricard has tied the second set, one leg apiece. No mercy on the double 20 tonight. Again, some players just have their preferred double, and Joe's has always been double 20. Just seems to love the way that his darts arc into that segment of the board. Some people like double 16, double 8. If you're certain, I believe, 19-year-old kid in the UK, it's double 10 for whatever reason, but hey, it works. Unfortunately, that one will not work. Are we going to see the big round of 3? No. Third dart saver there from Joe Ricard, correcting those first 2 darts. Great third. That's why we throw 3. Make sure that those first 2 darts don't define us. We have an opportunity to redeem ourselves. Bird doing very well to follow with the 60 of his own. Keeping pace, keeping steady. Joe Ricard, what can he do to expedite his expedition? Down 2 outs. Are we going to see the 180? Yes, I believe that's another 180 there for Joe Ricard. Great darts, big 180. Call and answer from Joe. The scoring has been there for Joe tonight. Berto just trying to find something workable of his own. Looks like another 60 is found, but Joe again is starting to run away with it. Just to the right-hand side there. Joe needs to try and bring it inside. Doesn't low, but can't quite find the correction he needed to bring it up. Sitting at 216, Berto back at 341. So Berto not completely out of this leg just yet. Needs to really find a triple here. Does find the triple to score 70 this round. Drops the score down to 271. So within eyesight of Joe, but Joe can really run away if he adds more of those. There's 2. And he just got a little too excited, folks, with that third one. Big 1-2-1. Solid visit there to drop his score down to 95. So a comfortable 2-darter. If Joe can put those pieces together. Berto, nasty deflection down. That third dart scoring 36. So Joe looking to get this done. No questions, 95. Just low. Going to move up. 39 scored. No way out there. Hits the big 16 for 55. Leave himself 40. Berto 235 left. Again, quite far back. Looks like he can't find the trip 19. Not actually sure where that dart landed. Landed in the trip 3 segment. So unfortunate 30 there, right on the edge again. Joe Ricard finding his way back to his favorite double 20. Good guide. Goes the opposite way and brings it well low in that third attempt there at the pip. Can't quite find it. Berto, more opportunities here to drop it. Drop the score. Looks like only finding 78. Getting closer to 10 o'clock here, so the caster brain, caster math, starting to melt down a little bit. Numbers don't work as well this late into the evening, but I do know that Joe needs 2 10s to get this leg into his name. It looks like it is found. Shake of the head. Not of the head there. It is found. Berto staring down quite a scary sight here. Joe within reach of 2 sets on the spin. At that point, that is a Herculean effort to try and come back from 2 sets down. Only finding 59 off the get-go here. So Berto, 1 triple, can put the pressure on. Does very well to find that opening triple. And he puts 2 in there. Big 140 from Berto to get things going here in this 4th leg. Solid open, solid darts there from Berto again. When he starts to find his rhythm, he can really start to blow up the scoring. Love to see it. 55 found there from Joe. So again, hovering around it, hovering around. Extreme Beats in the chat says, nice 12 dart out, Joe. Again, so close to seeing a 9 darter there. 6 darts in, 7th dart fails. Joe still cleans it up in 12 darts. Exactly. Love to see it. All these guys have the capability to get that close, and we just can't seem to find the right combination of darts to just put the first 9 darter in WPL history into the record books. We'll get there eventually. Berto again within reach, only finding 45, so a little bit of a slower leg here from both guys. And again, thinking about the whole course of a game and how it develops naturally. A lot of times, big scores, big takes. The beginning of a match when the stakes aren't as high, things are a little bit more natural. As the game starts to move along, desperation darts start to enter the game. It starts to become a little bit tougher. Arm gets a little tighter. The mind starts to think a little bit more about every dart being thrown. Just being natural, being calm. Being at peace with your darts can be the hardest part of the game. And both guys, again, just trying to find that inner peace. That's a great first dart. Put his mind at ease. Second dart, just a little high. Wants to sink that third one in there. Can't quite do it. 100 found. Leave himself a 172. Berto, again, within decent range here. 245. Would love to find a 140 here to really close the gap, but can't quite do it. Only finding the 40. Unfortunate there. Dropping his score down to 205. Joe, 172. No out. Big 140 here would have left 32, but the first dart into that 5 segment blows up. Then he hopes or dreams he would have had about that leave. Only scoring 43. Berto, 205 remaining. Joe under no pressure here. Will have more darts. But Berto needs to try and pip the center there. Can't quite do it. It looks like only 45, 60. Does find the 60. Joe Ricard, 129. So 19 first. Hits the big 19. He'll go back upstairs for a shot at the 60. Can't quite do it. So triple 20. Goes wide. So 20 scored. 109 remaining. Going to go back down. Finds the 57. Leave himself 52. Berto, outside chance here at the 145. Never count him out. He can take these 80 scored. 65 remaining. Not really worthwhile to try and go for the single bull, but he does anyway. And Berto, you're just too good. Leaving himself 40. Awesome setup shot there from Berto Santos. Great darts. Joe Ricard, 52 left. Goes upstairs. Double 16. Double 8. Outside, it looks like by a millimeter, just one. More opportunities here for Berto to take a leg. Going down to double 10. And he's just out of reach. Had it within his grasp, and it just slipped through. So more opportunities here for Joe Ricard to go 2 sets up on Berto. Needs to walk it inside, walks it well inside, and that is a bust. So Berto, again, staying alive. The Bee Gees are out in the ether somewhere, playing together as a band for Berto. Willing this man to try and get this double 10, pulls it inside, stayed alive on double 5, can't quite find it. So unfortunate there for Berto, leaving himself the big 5. Will have to correct with 1 dart next round. Joe, no more messing about, wants the double 8. Has to go across the way, double 4. Down to double 2. And the double trouble persists for Joe Ricard. Nailing that double 17. Berto has to clean up here. Down to double 2 where Joe failed. Berto succeeds. Berto is taking 2 legs here in this second set. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, we have a decent fight here for this second set. Berto will have the throw, will have the darts. And the honor goes here. Oh, is he going to fill it up to open it? Oh, looks like only 140, but still a great opening salvo from Berto Santos. Awesome darts there. Joe looking to follow with 140 at the very least of his own. Wants to bring it back up. Can only find the big ton. Bernie's in the chat. Good to see you, Bernie. Hope you're doing well. And Berto, are we going to see the 180 here? No, 125, so great darts, 140, 125. Joe looking to try and match the pace being set by Berto here. Needs to find a triple to try and keep it close. Can't quite get it. Only 60. Berto looking to try and keep this momentum going, keep those darts flowing in the right direction, but can't quite keep pace with his past self there. Only 26. We've all been there, Berto. 140, 125, 26. I've done that my fair share of times, and it's doesn't feel great, but hey, still not a bad leg, still plenty of opportunities to come here for Berto. Oh, jeez, big 137 there from Joe Ricard, knocking down, cutting deep into the 3-4-1. So he will leave himself 204. Berto, 210, but still a big opportunity here to really push the score forward. 20 found, needs a trip. 20, looks like he does snag it in the bottom left corner. Might have gotten a little bit of a helper there, leaving himself the baby fish, 130. Pressure on Joe now. He doesn't want to drop this set, doesn't want to risk it. Not in there, Joe, not a triple. 2 big 20s, wants to find a big ton. There he does. Unlucky. And Berto looking at the baby fish here. Can't quite grab it. Can't quite grab a 20. Only finding 15. So unfortunate. So unlucky. Joe Ricard, 104. Which way's he going to go? Finds 48. Okay. And he messes it up with the big 7. Tough darts. Wanted 64. Leave himself 40, so he wanted another big 16. Finds a 17 there. So Berto, again, 115. This is a massive opportunity for Berto Santos to take a set. Can he find the opening dart? Will be forced to find a triple 20 to leave himself the bullseye. It's the only way. And he goes well high and well wide. Finding 10, 105 remaining. Tough darts there for Berto as he looks to try and correct and clean it up, excuse me. And Joe, double 16 now, taking a little bit of a breath, knows that he doesn't want to drop this. Lines up for it. And he nails it with the opening dart of that round. 16 dart leg there for Joe Ricard. 2 sets into the books.
Since 2014, U.S. Sports and Apparel has been helping teams, companies, and organizations look their best. From embroidered polos to customized uniforms and fan gear, they have the expertise and the people to do it all. Their catalog includes spiritwear, athletic equipment, and promotional items. From mugs and golf balls to jackets and hoodies, everything is branded to your specifications. For gear that works as hard as you do, trust in U.S. Sports and Apparel to get the job done right.
Berto put up a good fight there, pushing Joe to a last leg decider in that set, but Joe clinches it. Now Joe will be playing for the game here. One more set needed. Berto needs to win 3 on the spin to keep his hopes alive for week 2, getting to that elusive final round. Looks like not a great opening start here for Joe Ricard, only finding the big 19, not the big segment, just total. Berto only finding 6 in those first 2 darts. A little bit of a step back, a little bit of a reorganization of the brain, of the arm, recalibrating. Not able to find that savior third dart that would have made that round so much better. Joe just all over it, and we've seen that a lot. Joe can reliably nail that triple 20 bed, but his grouping has just been slightly off. Some rounds here coming close, but slipping into the 5 and 1s. Berto nailing that third dart. Great darts there from Berto to find his way in there on that third dart. Again, a little bit of a errant dart there on that first attempt from Joe. A little bit of a tough blocker, but doesn't matter. He finds his way in there anyway. Solid darts there from Joe. Way to get around those flights. Settling in here into this match. Again, Berto hasn't been playing a bad game, just falling a half step behind in the scoring department. Too many chances gone on the outs. Just that half step behind that Joe has had. The advantage on Berto, but again, Berto has that extra gear. Just can he access it when he needs it? When he needs it, that's been the big difference in this game so far. Joe, are we going to see another 180 racking him up tonight? No, it won't go. 121 fired in there, leaving himself 199. Berto, again, so close, right on the edge. Can't quite nail that red segment. Blows up the neighboring trip 5. Score 50, but 299 to 199, and that's been just about the difference in this game so far. About 100 points. Joe continuing to hammer the triple 20 segment. Looks like he finds a big 135 just on the wrong side there, but a very, very handy 64 leave. Berto only able to nab 40 there, so Joe Ricard, 64 left, no pressure. Berto not at an out, sitting all the way back at 259. Joe wants this 64, wants a 16, to leave himself his favorite 40. Will not go, so regardless, doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things with this leg, but for Joe's sake, he wanted to find that big single. That will bother him. Berto not able to find anything worthwhile in that first dart. Does very well with the second one. 61 fired in. A little bit of frustration starting to settle in, though, for Berto. He knows that this is not looking good. Joe Ricard lining up for his favorite tops. And he nails it in that first dart. So again, Joe Ricard setting himself up for success. Not waiting around too long to get it. Berto here mounted a great comeback in that previous set, but needs to start putting the pieces together here before Joe threatens 2 legs on top here in this third set. 95 fired in there by Berto. Great darts. Joe doing a little bit of a double take there, making sure that he's lined up perfectly. Well, this third dart due, can't quite find it. 45 found only there for Joe. So Berto can really look to run here. Can punish. Great first dart. Great second. Fill it up, Berto. It looks like he does find it. Maybe. 125 found. No, just outside. So close there from Berto, but great scoring power. And again, just goes to show that all of these guys have it. They just off by millimeters, off by slight twitch in their arm, just something. But the scoring has been there, and Berto looking to keep this momentum going. Does find another triple there. Fantastic stuff. 81 found will knock his score down to 200. Joe all the way back at 411. So a long way to go for Joe. Needs a ton 40, needs a 180, but might already start thinking about the next leg here. Maybe just a bit of a mental reset. 45 found. Not worthwhile. Berto, again, has the responsibility of not letting this leg go, though. Is well out in front, but cannot afford to start getting lazy. 55 found will bring him down to an out. But knowing Joe, knowing how often he's hit that triple 20 segment tonight, he cannot afford to let this guy back in. Here we go. 180 would change a lot. Even a 140 will start to raise some questions. The third dart well off. 81 found. Brings him down to 285, so still well out of reach. 145 for Berto. 130 now. Probably just going to stay on the 20s. Tries to stay there, stay straight. Only finds 20. 20 total. And finds great third dart there. 80 scored. Bringing his score down to 65. Joe all the way back on 285. Again, Joe probably just resetting his arm, thinking about the next leg. When you're this far down in a leg and your opponent's shot very well, all the way in front, yeah, you just kind of want to hang around, see what happens, rely on mistakes, but get yourself mentally ready, not dwell on the current leg, don't get frustrated. Just try and get yourself ready for that opening round in the next leg here. So Berto leads himself 43. Going to try and correct, but which way is he going to go? Not sure where that third dart was going. 22 score. I'm not even sure if that third dart was in there. It's not. So 43 left. Again, a little bit of a puzzled face there from Joe Ricard. Not sure what Berto was planning. But this is where the pressure starts to mount, where if you're so far ahead and all of a sudden the other guy starts to creep up, you haven't gotten the job done. Just problems. Don't want to invite these problems. 8 hit. Finds a 3 for double 16 and can't quite nail it. So Joe still can't check out here. 180. This is the one time you don't want to hit a 180. It would be cool. But if these double trouble persists here for Berto, might be kicking himself here knowing that critical leg might have been dropped, but we'll see. Needs to find double 16. Finds it with that second dart, so great darts there from Berto to not let that one go. Joe sitting in the side there with 120 of Shanghai on those 20s would have gotten him that critical second leg, but Berto says, no thank you, I don't want that trouble, I don't want that smoke. I'm going to get out of here with my leg, which I've rightfully earned, and he has. Joe 95 off the rip here. Great darts to get this leg going. Bit of a scoreboard update for everybody as we get this leg off and running. Ron Sargent is currently leading Mike Kerrigan in a close game. Ron's up 2-0, firing in a 71.80 average, and Mike not too far off at 68.41. So both guys shooting well, shooting close. But Ron, after a dominant opening round against Tom Curtin, not looking like he's going to be easy to slow down here tonight. Joe Ricard firing in a 100. Letting that last leg just get a little ahead of him. Not able to really keep pace with Berto, who fired in an excellent leg of darts. But Joe Ricard did very well to mentally reset. Wants to keep this thing going. Keep his scoring consistency just low on that first dart. Not off by much. Joe doing very well to split the middle there. My goodness, that 81 was so close. Can't believe it actually got through those flights. Hard to believe. Berto just trying to make those small adjustments. All over it in those first two darts. Only finding 30. So frustrating. Joe Ricard all the way at 225. Well in front. Opposite leg to what we saw in the previous. Going downstairs now for the big switch. So 55 found. Leave himself 170, I believe. Berto 200 points up on Joe. So just going to try and mentally keep it together here. Mentally reset. Come back for a critical upcoming leg here. This one's not over yet, but this would be Joe to blame if he doesn't take it out here. Not taking the 170, just taking the leg. Does very well to find that second dart. Another one. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe he squeezed those darts in there. That's crazy. Joe, excellent darts to leave himself 49. Berto looking to fill this up. Can't quite get there. Finds the big ton, but Joe, 49. After 5 visits to the board here. Wants to clean this up. Wants to get within one leg. Finds the 17 for double 16. And tops has been so reliable for Joe tonight. Tries to go double 16 and just makes a little bit of a mess of it, but does very well to correct. Again, no pressure on Joe with Berto sitting at 225, not an out. Needs a big ton-plus score here to bring himself down to something worthwhile, something worth working with. Does very well to find that third dart. 85 scored there. Leaving himself the big 140, but Joe, much smaller piece of the pie here. Double 8 needed. And he pulls it well high, so double 16 trouble for Joe. 5 left. 1 or 3. Goes down for the 3 for the guaranteed shot. Double 1. Excuse me. Caster math wrong. It's double 2. Actually, you know what? Ladies and gentlemen, the caster math was not wrong. They're actually discussing it. That was 11 and 3, 14 with 16 left. I might have to tell the guys here with my little fancy microphone. That was 11 and 3. So I gave them the the voice of God using my fancy microphone to let them know the score. Joe, a little bit of a calculating error, leaving himself 2. So a rare mistake from Joe Ricard, but it is late, ladies and gentlemen. We all make these type of counting mistakes. Berto hitting 80, so leaving himself 60. Aim high, Berto. Don't hit the... No! Berto! No! Oh, that's so unfortunate. Hitting the 140 and busting. Joe going back to double 1, and he unfortunately can't find it. But one time, you want to aim as high as possible. Don't aim low. It's so hard to adjust your arm to aim high. Only finding 41 there. Again, we throw at that triple 20 segment so often. It's so difficult to purposely miss. And Joe again, double 1, stuck in the madhouse. There was a crowd in the background. They'd be going, whoa, every single time. Luckily that we don't have the live crowd just yet to add that extra element of spice. A little bit more drama there. 92 left for Berto. Can't find the trip 20. 72 left. Chooses to leave himself 52. Third time might be the charm here for Joe Ricard on double one. The most difficult double. Gets another look at it. Goes higher. And again, he can't sink it. So Berto, relying on mistakes here from Joe Ricard. It's one, so needs a 19. And he busts it again. Berto with the frustration. Unfortunate there. Just not what you want to see. Finds the trip. Arms and minds so instinctively tuned to aim for those triple segments. It's hard to avoid. And this is turning into an ugly one, folks. Both guys just struggling to get out here. Berto finding the big 12 for tops, and he nails it in 2 darts. So Berto, it was a struggle, but takes that leg and now sits with the advantage here in this set. Berto needs to start finding these ugly ones again. If you don't win the ugly ones, you don't reliably earn the ones that look good. It's always these ones that you have to kick, scrape, fight for. Joe looking to just relax, reset, and start firing in some awesome darts, and that's a great way to start this leg with the big 100. Berto finding the 20, triple 20 segment, looking for another one, only finds 81. Great darts there from Berto, pushing himself in front here, but Joe looking to have something to say about that. Goes well wide with that second one. Needs a big correction here, and he does find the big correction. 81 scored there following Berto. Both guys scoring very well in this leg here. A little bit of a wayside dart there. Only finding 55, but does bring his score down. Even 320, both guys. Tie game. Who needs 501? We can just start on 320 instead. Looking to split the difference here. Wants the middle, can't quite find it. Only finds 60. Berto looking to find some consistency here. Wants this leg to push the game out, extend it. Great 100 found by Berto there. Great darts. If he can find this third leg, he takes a set, and this whole game just goes out further, and you never know. The hours start getting later, more darts being thrown. Guys who come out of the gate swinging might get tired. We're looking to try and make a correction off of that one. Can't drop it down. Goes higher. 45 pounds. So Joe not far away. 236. Big visit here. Puts him in range. Joe looking to make that small correction. Does find it. Can't find the second one, but the big ton will put him at 136, which is a very nice out. Berto needs at least one big triple here to try and make something better of it. Can't quite do it. 51 found at an out. 124 is a good one. 136 is a good one too. Won't go for Joe here. Wants 100. Don't hit the 140. Aim up. Aim up. Aim high. Joe does, leaving himself 36. Berto 124. 104 left. Needs trip 18. Elects to stay on the 20s and finds the trip 19. Not the preferred way to go. That might be a 5, actually, given the camera angle. Leaves himself 42. Joe to tie the set. Double 18, just high. Oh, getting closer. And he pulls it high again. Double trouble for Joe Ricard. Continues And Berto, big opportunity here to correct. 42 down to 32. 2 darts at it. Needs to pull it inside, walk it in, and walks it too far in. Frustration on the face of Berto there. He knows that was a big dart. Joe Ricard, 3 more opportunities to push this leg all the way. And it's found. Joe Ricard has tied this set. We have had 2 back-to-back sets that have gone the distance. Nothing is coming easy for either guy. But Joe critically will have the throw for this final leg here in this set. Can he take advantage of it? Unfortunately, can only walk away off the line with 45 here. Berto looking to punish. Needs to walk it up. Can't quite do it, so both guys 45 off the line. Nervy darts here. Joe knows that he can book his way to the finals with a big round, big darts. Berto looking to keep his night alive. Can't find the switch down to the 1919, but keeps it all in the big segments. Berto looking to try and find it. He does. Looks like a 100 punched in there by Berto. So pressure on now for Joe to follow. Joe is defending his throw here. Berto looking to break. Just below and just outside. First 2 darts just not cooperating. Joe Ricard starting to falter, starting to slow down a little bit. Not something that we're used to seeing from Joe and Berto. Finding that extra gear at just the right time. Big darts, big moments. It's what the best players look to do, is deliver the goods when it matters most. Joe, it's just not working. It's just kind of remarkable to see. Unfortunate for Joe. Looks like only 26 found, but Berto, big opportunity here to just keep pushing the ball forward. Wants a little bit of a bigger ball than that. Can't quite find the big red dodgeball, inflatable beach ball. Can only find a little tennis ball there. Wants something bigger. And here we go. Problems that Berto might have invited Joe. If he finds another one, all of a sudden this leg is starting to look a little different. 140 fired in there from Joe Ricard down to 186, leapfrogging Berto. Berto looking to keep this alive. This is his night on the line if he can find the darts in this leg. Joe Ricard looking to close the door, slam it shut. But Berto is first down to a big out. 160 remaining. Joe Ricard 186. No out. Needs to knock it down. Give himself something better than 160. Wants a ton at the very least. Can't do it, so only 126 remaining for Joe. A little bit of an awkward out. Berto 160. This would be a monster take. Unfortunately, all over it there. And looks like he pulls it just outside at that third one. 45 found, 126 for Joe Ricard. Which way is he going to go? Awkward out here. Finds 19. Finds another 19. So, again, unfortunate. Wanted to trip 19. Leave himself the bullseye. And it looks like that may be in the single 7. It is. So 29 found there. Another opportunity for Berto. 115. Certainly gettable. What can Berto do? 95. Needs trip 19. That is the wrong dart. Unfortunately, does very well to hit the 95 to leave himself 20, but Joe all of a sudden has the opportunity. 97. Berto says that Joe can't do it. Can Joe deliver? A little bit of a reset here on the line. Pause. He thinks about it. Finds the big 7. So 90 remaining. All hope is not lost. Has to go upstairs for the 18s. And he's just wide by a millimeter. Wrong side of the wire. 10 scored. 87 remaining for Joe. And Joe nails 51 to leave himself 36. Berto, double 10 to extend the game. Outside, needs to bring it in. For the game, Berto, to extend it. It looks like that may not be in. It might be in. I'm not sure. He does find it. Berto takes the set, extends the game.
Balboni Darts is the name in darts for Central Massachusetts and beyond. From dart sets and boards to accessories and apparel, they're the one-stop shop for any player looking to stock up or upgrade. Whether you're stepping up to the line for the first time or competing for trophies and checks, Balboni Darts is the store that the champion selects.
Man, this game has gone the distance here, and this is the type of stuff that we wanted to see here at the WPL. Season 3 with the extended format all of a sudden really opens the door for these types of just grueling games where it extends out. Really comes down to a battle of attrition, a battle of wills. Who has the greater mental strength there? So far, this has gone the distance and showed us pretty much a little bit of everything here. Good scoring, good outs, good takes, drama. What more can you ask for? Night of darts. 95 fired in there by Berto. Great stuff, great start. Already just about to pass 300 mark here at 2 visits. Joe Ricard started off again. Very, very strong, but the doubles have been his downfall. The scoring has been there so far this game, but double trouble, not finding the scoring when he needs to. Berto really picking up the pace, finding the darts. Again, Berto's always had these darts in him. It's just the consistency, and can he keep it together in critical moments? And so far the answer has been yes. Joe does not want to let this game spiral out. Wants to try and keep it under wraps, keep it together. 45 found, not the scoring that we're used to seeing from Joe Ricard. And Berto pushing ahead, causing problems for Joe. Scoreboard update here. Mike Kerrigan has found a set against Ron Sargent. So that game 2-1 in Ron's favor. Ron looking to close it out to go to the finals for back-to-back weeks. And Berto looking to keep his night alive. Already done very well to secure himself points. His first points of the season. Wants to go all the way. Land those big points. Solid 100 there fired by Joe. Berto 170. Well, unfortunately, can't add that feather to his cap tonight. But, again, Berto playing very well. Had a really good opening win against Nick Soldo. Nick, unfortunately, not able to lock in any points after 2 weeks. He's the only player to not lock in points after 2 weeks, but many more opportunities to come. Joe, not really able to find big visits anymore. Starting to elude him. Starting to become tougher. Berto correcting that dart, making sure it's sitting in his hand perfectly. So 80 scored, 46 remaining. Joe not working with an out all the way back at 166. Berto not finding what he was aiming for there. Unfortunately, finding that 11 with that third dart. 35 left, but he will be coming back. Joe just trying to correct down, goes well high. Wants to work his way down to the 17s, it looked like, but finds his way into that trip 9 segment. So Berto in big opportunity here to really push ahead. Anytime you have the opportunity to open a set with a leg, double 16, just less pressure that you put on yourself later down the line, and Berto can't get it done here with those darts. Joe working with 1-3-2. Lining up here. Can't find the bull. Wanted to go bull, bull, double 16. That's the normal way to go. Unfortunately, that dart lands in the 3 segment, so finds that trip 19 correction. 60 scored. 80 scored in total for that round, so he will leave himself 52. But Berto Wants to get it done here in a great position to really nab himself a leg. Wants to do it no trouble. Berto needs to walk in inside. A little bit more. And he just can't bring it in when he needs to, all wide. And all of a sudden, again, opportunities for Joe, and maybe, just maybe, he might not have earned them, but double 16, not as reliable as double 20 for Joe tonight. And again, proving to be his kryptonite, Joe has been nailing double 20 almost every single time that he's left it, but double 16, for whatever, just not his number tonight. More chances for Berto. Finds it with that second dart, so the first leg of this fourth set goes to Berto Santos, and all of a sudden, what looked like Berto's night coming to a close, new life being found, Berto surging, resurging really. Pushing Joe to his absolute limit here. Joe looking to just try and keep it together, keep things steady. Again, the scoring has been his main boon. He just wants to kind of be able to fall back on it, lean on it. And that's a great visit there of 140. Fired in from Joe. Looks like they were all right on the left edge there of that 20 segment. Wow. Berto only able to nab a 40 there. Unfortunate start. So Joe really trying to run away with it now. And Joe trying to defend his throw here. Berto holding his throw in that previous leg, doing very well to do so. But since this is Berto's, I believe it's Berto's set. Naturally, if we follow the course there, Berto defending his throw, he will take this set and force a deciding one. We have yet to go all the way here in Season 3. Joe looking to absolutely not have that happen. He wants to close this out right here, right now, but the dart's just going left, right. Not really cooperating, and shocking to see almost. Berto not able to find anything more than 40 there. Unfortunate. Joe looking to keep it going here. Already has a good gap built up. Some distance there. That dart's in there. 2 darts in there. Come on, fill it up. And a clattering of flights and a dart pushed wide. 121 punched in there from Joe Ricard, dropping his score down to 171. Berto needs a big score of his own to try and keep pace. Joe hoping and praying that Berto can't find a big triple 20. Won't go. So while he's not at an out, folks, Joe Ricard looking to fire back and defend his leg here, his throw. Well, there's the one taken care of. Don't have to worry about that. Would love a trip 20. And he does find the 81, dropping his score down to 90. 3-3-1. Berto well outside, well behind. That hasn't stopped Berto before, though, and that first one's going to be, oh, come on, Berto. No, Berto. The big thumbs up from Joe in the background. That would have been tremendous. But unfortunately not in the cards here. Joe Ricard working with 90. Probably going to go the 18s route. No need to go 20s. Going to correct across now. Down to 16s. 4. Oh. I don't think he was actually at and out there. 50 scored. Just looking to... Caster math got the best of me again tonight. But the last time I wasn't wrong. Thought I was crazy there, thinking I didn't know what double 1 and double 2 were worth. Only 85 there from Berto. Joe doing very well to leave himself 40. A little bit of a mental refocus there. Deep breath. This has been so reliable for Joe. And well low, actually. Quite surprising there on that attempt. Joe needs to bring it inside. It looks like he does find it with the third one, so Joe firing back, defending his throw here. Tied set here, 1 leg apiece. Berto not too far back, 1-2-1, but half step behind compounds, and all of a sudden a leg in the ledger books for Joe. Berto doing very well to get off the line in a hurry. Nice ton there to open things up for us. Joe looking to try and follow. That first dart is a great guide. Certainly wants more. So both guys go blow for blow here. Tons apiece. No room between them. That's really been the course of the second half of this game. So close, neck and neck. Joe walked away to a comfortable opening set, but Berto has made life considerably more difficult for Joe. What can Joe do here to follow up? Big opportunity to really generate a massive lead. Might be blocked, might stay there. He does stay there and finds the 100. So back-to-back tons there for Joe Ricard. Berto, 55 points back, needs to start racking them up. He does very well to grab it. Critical third dart there for Berto. So close, the margins between these guys right now. These are nervy darts that are being thrown. Both guys feeling it. Long format, the pressure becomes a grueling battle of attrition between these guys, mentally, physically. Who's going to make a mistake? Who's going to blink? Both guys have certainly answered the question that they're up for it. Just who's going to blink first? Berto only finding 45 there, drops the score down to 230, but Joe needs to prove to Berto that he's earned the right to be in the lead, and unfortunately the darts are having their say in this. Only 40 found. The darts denying Joe Ricard what looked to be a 60 there. Berto taking a breath. He knows that was a little bit of a gift there. Wants to bring it down, wants at least 60. Does find the 60. Leaves himself the big 170 take, the big fish. 216 left for Joe. Not an out. Needs at least 100. Wants to go over the top there on that second dart. Just can't find it. So Joe will leave himself 156. It's gettable, but it's tough. Same thing with the big fish. Berto, can you deliver? And unfortunately, the boat is not big enough. We're going to need a bigger boat for that fish in that water. But 170 knocked down to 100. Things are looking pretty good for Berto here in this leg. Joe, this would be a massive take, and off the first dart, won't go. Finding 42 there. So, knocking it down, not by a lot. Won't be happy with that. Berto, 70 left. Leaves himself 52. Big, looks like it's only a big 5 actually, just on the wire. So 47 remaining. Goes for the 15. So he does find the correction to leave himself 32. But just took a little while to get there. And what can Joe do with this 114, 94 left? Doesn't find the trip 18, so Berto will be coming back here for a shot at this double 16 to push Joe to the brink again in this set. Berto looking to try and walk in, and he does. Double 16 is found there for Berto Santos. Great darts, and out of nowhere, Joe really struggling to put it together here. Unexpected. Berto playing very well to battle. Duke it out here with Joe. The darts have just not been flying in Joe's favor. Second dart's great. As we get this leg underway, scoreboard update for everybody. Ron Sargent going to back-to-back finals here with the 3-1 victory over Mike Kerrigan. Great darts from Mike to secure himself the first points of his Season 3 campaign. But Ron beating out Mike. And again, looking to rectify what was so close to happening. And that's taking a week. The WPL, he was so close last week against Tom Curtin. Tom just played out of his mind. Ron wants to feel that feeling for himself. Back to this game here. Berto falling a little far behind. Joe looking to try and run away, but Berto firing back. Looks like 95 there. So again, neck and neck, these guys have upped their game. Berto's found that extra gear. Joe Ricard trying to close this out. Doesn't want to go another set. Who knows what can happen. 41 found there. Berto 365. Remaining not too far back, not out of arm's reach here, but those ones are going to make his life considerably more difficult. 24 there. Unfortunate, unlucky Joe. Cannot afford to miss. Has to have a big round and a big visit here to really grow this gap. Bat will do nicely. One more. Fortunately, it won't go, but the 100 down to 198. Berto sitting at 341. Berto looking to work his way back into this leg, but those types of just close darts are not going to do him any favors. Joe, 198. Still some work to do. Joe looking to try and nab that big ton. Does find the big ton there. Great darts there from Joe. Berto, 296, needs a 140, 180. Almost mandatory here to keep this alive. Only finding 45. Tough darts there. So it looks like Joe, big opportunity to push this leg all the way. Again, not quite there yet. 78 remaining. Finds a big 54 for double 12. And he, so close. Not able to get out there with that double 12. Finding the double 5 instead. So tough. And Berto nowhere near and out here, so can only try and score big. Joe, double 7 remaining. It's going to be his decision whether he decides to go straight at it with double 7 or try and correct to a more familiar double. What is Joe going to do here? Thinking about it. He's not sure what he wants either. Again, no pressure from Berto. 191. Still quite a ways back. Joe Ricard really thinking about what way is going to be the most comfortable way for him. Looks like he's made his choice. Goes for it. Looks like he wanted a 6 there, but it falls into single 10, so he has double 2 remaining. Needs to bring it up just a little bit more, and he finds it, nails it, so we are going all the way for a third set in a row. Going the distance. These guys are delivering the goods, and man, oh man, what a battle this has been. Berto, no more mistakes. Needs to try and find more triple 20s. Does find that. Great ton out of the gate there from Berto. Joe Ricard has to follow. Joe trying to keep it close. Can only manage to nab a 60, so Berto, advantage. Finds a single 20, wants to try and keep his arm relaxed, keep it cool. Finds a 60, that'll do just nicely. 60's more than enough. Joe needs to pick up the pace. Already 100 points behind. Might be a single 5, might be 2 in the single 5 segment. And a little bit of a collapse here right at the end of this fourth set. Only 30 found there. Berto looking to just push it further out of reach. One is going to not be what he was looking for. 41 found, brings the score down to 300 dead. Joe 111 points behind, needs at least 140. 100 will even do. And he can't find it. Another 41. Maybe he's pushing his darts. Maybe the desperation's getting to him. Berto. Correction needed. Minor correction needed. Can't find it, so 45. A lull in the scoring here. Joe, opportunity. Big round, big visit puts him close. Small correction needed up. And he finds the big ton. Joe sitting 15 points out of reach from Berto, who's at 255. Berto Cannot afford to keep hitting these 1s and 5s. Has to start to motor. Only finding 24 there, so opportunity for Joe to jump in front, put the pressure on, and seal this game. But these darts, they're nervy. They don't want to cooperate. Looks like only 41, 26 found for Joe, even worse. Berto finding the big triple. Looking to the scoreboard, finding the 99. First one down to an out. Berto battling. Joe, desperation. 2-4-4 left. Needs a ton. Can't secure it. 184 left for Joe, not at an out. Berto, 1-3-2 will go bull first, well wide. So 120 remaining with that fortunate 12 found. Finds it. Aim high, Berto. Don't hit the triple again, Berto. Please don't hit the triple. Aim high. 60 remaining. Finds the big 5, but doesn't bust his score. Crucially, fires into 77. Joe Ricard, 184. Berto, 55. Big round needed from Joe. 140. 100 will do nicely even. The pressure is mounting for Joe. He knows that these trebleless visits are going to start to put the pressure on. 2 darts at 20 for Berto. He misses by a millimeter. Has to correct now. Chances going Joe's way. 7 or 19, and he can't find it. Finds the big 16, so another dart wasted. Corrections further needed for Berto. Joe Ricard, 124. 54 needed. Triple 18. It won't go. 38 scored leaves him 86. Might choose to stay there. Leave himself 32. Goes for the big 20 instead. That's a tactical choice, leaving himself 66. 23 needed. Finds 14, so the nerves getting to Berto, leaving himself 9. 5 or 1. And he finds 18, the bust. Too much, the wrong time. And is the time finally right here for Joe Ricard? He's had chances after chances. One more 15 to leave himself. Double 18, 1 dart at it. And it's done. Joe Ricard nails the double 18, 2 15s into that double. And after a tremendous battle from Berto Santos, pushing Joe to the edge, 3 sets in a row, the job is done.
Looking for a way to support the Worcester Premier League directly? Check out our coffee page. Every dollar donated goes right back into the league, helping us cover operations and build a bigger prize pool for the players. Your support makes it possible for us to keep the WPL growing season after season. Once again, your donation helps us keep the competition thriving and the darts flying. Visit our page at coffee.com/WPL darts to make a contribution today.